We are here at Fresno Pacific University, and we're going to be talking about the new musical production of Godspell, which everyone is really excited about. We're going to be talking with director Brandy Martin.
Yes, so this is our Lynn Family Performance Studio. Everyone say hi. And some theater students in the wild.
So 10 o'clock class, how tough is that? No problem, huh?
Not bad yet, because we haven't started. No, so this is our black box theater. I can't remember the exact number of seats it holds, but I want to say it's about 98. Hey, Isaiah, you're not late. Don't worry. Everything's okay. So we also have a scene shop that's just through these double doors, which is super nice. The grid is, I think, 12 feet high, and all LED equipment in here, which is pretty great, and thrust space kind of modeled after the Second Space Theater, actually. It'll feel very similar when you're watching shows in here.
So would you be able to do it in the round if you wanted?
I'm hoping so. In fact, I was hoping to do that for our upcoming spring show. It has to do with some of the other seating arrangements, limitations we might have. We're not sure yet. So, but that's part of the fun of being in a space, is figuring out all of the things it can do. For Harvey, we left it just like this, just to start as we were figuring it out. But it gets used often for other presentations just because of the screen, the projector screen in here. And what else can I tell you about it? There's 3 makeup rooms we're super excited about. We've never had a makeup room before. Yes, we're super thrilled. I mean, even inside.
Very nice.
We had a makeup class in here last semester. And what else can I say about it?
There's nice curtains in the dressing room, and there's plenty of mirrors back there too, so that's good.
We had a cast of 11 in Harvey, and in Godspell, our spring musical, it'll be 14. So what? Yes. So and we just cast that over the weekend.
Good,
so good. We're all getting back into the groove of production.
So when you both enrolled at Fresno Pacific, did you know that this building was coming, or were you crossing your fingers you'd get to use it?
I had no idea that this was coming. I knew they were talking about building a building. I was afraid I was going to graduate before they built it, and then they built it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I get to use the building. So it's really great. It's really great.
Yeah, I came at just the right time, so this is my second year, and so I'm hopefully going to be able to use it for the rest of my journey here. So I came at the right time. I don't think I knew that it was going to be built, but when I started seeing the advertisements and everything, then it was like, yes, we got something.
And so Brandy, I know you did previous productions off campus. And where else would you perform? Where would you perform on campus?
Oh gosh. Well, we performed in the Ashley Auditorium, which also doubled as the band room. We were offered to perform in the student lounge, but didn't wind up having to do that, though we were prepared. They've performed in the atrium of McDonald Hall too before. Where haven't we?
I remember seeing a show there.
Yes, out in the green.
So this really fills a really essential need.
Yes, game changing. Because we got to actually rehearse with the set for 3 weeks last semester, which both of these two I can tell you was a different experience than ordinary days where we loaded in and then 3 days later we were open, and then by the end of the week we were done. So it feels like, well, I guess I don't have to put words in your mouth. What does it feel like?
I mean, ordinary days, I adored the show, and the church was really amazing, and I did love it, and once it all came together. But I think Isaiah could also attest the amount of stress that it is to walk into a space and look at it and go, oh, that's not a set, that's a church. What? Trying to learn blocking, especially blocking, I think, and probably lighting as well, is really, really difficult when you don't know exactly where to stand, and you can't put spike tape everywhere, and you can't mark the setup the way you want it to. So coming in for Harvey was like, yes, having an actual stage and an actual set, like it felt revolutionary. So
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, it just felt like we were able to like just reach our full potential because you have like a lot more weeks to actually prepare for what you want the show to be. And so it just felt like by the end of it, we had something that was like just polished. It was something that we were confident in. And Ordinary Days like was an amazing show too. But it's just like when you have that time to just like prepare, you feel so much better by the end of it over like the whole experience all around.
So are you both in Godspell?
Yes.
And what and you just got cast. What are your roles?
I'm playing ensemble role and then understudying Jesus.
Okay.
So,
yes, I'm also in the ensemble, singing a couple songs. So very excited about that. Get to
Very
do some
fun.
gospel.
yeah.
So, Brandy, I know you're the lighting guru as well. Can you can you show us your light booth?
Oh, I can. Yeah, you'd like to see the light booth?
Yeah.
Sure. Come on back this
I
way.
bet Kyle would too.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
So
Yeah.
when you use the spit, do you build a stage?
Yes, last semester we built up, we put a floor in and then built a stage on top of that.
Okay.
This semester, I think Godspell is going to have a lot of rolly things onto this space, and so we have to leave the floor kind of open for that. Godspell is going to be a party. Yeah. So in here we've got a color source, which is a lot of touch screen and faders, and then in the other space we have the ion too. So it's all LED, which is super exciting. Though for Harvey, I did put some older lighting equipment. Shh, don't tell anyone. Just because I really love that sort of amber light that you get from an incandescent.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that we're moving into this LED world, but
Does
it's-
LED have an equivalent for that they try to?
They
that
say
tries to
they do.
It just
but
doesn't have the same.
It doesn't feel the same to me, so I sneak it in there when I can. Yeah. And especially for Harvey, which is an older show, you kind of expect that sort of warmth out of it. And I'm not sure anybody noticed. So that's kind of the cool thing with a space like this is that you can still use some of the old on top of the new, and then we'll expand out from there.
So what was it? What is it like for you to get to kind of break in all these new toys?
Feels great. It feels yeah, especially going from last year to this year. It feels like I'm on a new campus with an entirely different program. Last year, every decision I made was based on can I fit it through the door in a certain amount of time and put it up and get everything technically ready in a certain amount of time. And this one, it's a little more like, well, I think you heard me with the arrangement. I think it can be this. And so I still have to plan, but it can be a little more organic. And for the students, I think that's a breath of fresh air. They have really come out of their shell in this space. I've seen it. So we just feel so blessed with with the donors being able to make this building happen. And it didn't happen overnight. It happened in about 2 decades of a lot of people coming together to make the decisions to put this show on the road, really. And so we try to do it justice in this space. We want to sell every seat. So that was the reason for choosing a musical like Godspell. It's people know the music, people love the music, and right now we have the students who can sing it. So I wanted to showcase that. Really, is what it came down to with that.
So I
choice.
wanted to ask you about Godspell.
Yeah.
Was there ever a time that a title like this would not have been able to play at
at this school?
Yeah, at a university.
I would say based on the number of times FPU has been able to do Godspell, it's sort of once a decade.
Okay.
So at least not at Fresno Pacific.
Because when it first came out, people thought it was like, oh, that's a hippie
Oh, yeah.
musical. And so was there
e-
pushback?
Even my students currently were like, are we going to do the hippie thing? Because that was all they knew about the show.
Yeah.
That was all they knew about Godspell. And I had to explain to them, well, it was the spirit of the 70s. And songs like Day by Day were on the radio. And so there was this sort of larger than Broadway, everyone coming together idea about Godspell, or at least about the music. And I think when you look at it that way, it was easier to like move past the hippieism of Godspell. If it gives anyone comfort, there might be a little bit of an ode to the 70s in there, but we're updating in terms of the costumes anyway. We won't be in a park singing Kumbaya. There is
You're
one
not telling
song
your
that-
students to grow their hair? Or
not yet.
To their shoulders all the way down?
No, although one of them did ask me if they could dye their hair rainbow, and I was like, maybe. I think that might work. So, it's just a fun, fantastic, and the auditions were really exciting. You don't start to see a show come together until performers are on stage in front of you, and then all of a sudden, it's very scary as a director to cast the thing, because a lot of decisions are made up front, and then after that, you kind of buckle in and you're sort of stuck with it, for better or for worse. But I think our cast is really so multi-talented, and all of the voices that I needed came through the door. It was beautiful. It was sort of like who am I going to have to sing? And then somebody would come up and I'd go, oh, that's this person. So they made it. They're making the vision possible. And the building has done nothing but help that. We would always have a department, even without a building, but having a place to meet and not having to ask each other, okay, where are we going to meet on campus today? It's not even a question anymore. It's just taken that whole burden off of our plate, and now we can focus on making good theater. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Well, yeah, thank you.
Remember, Godspell runs for 2 weekends only through April 22nd.